in September 1969, at the village of Rzhavchik, Tisulsky in the Kemerovo region, a very strange burial was discovered. During the stripping work at a coal mine in the core coal seam which lies at a depth of over 70 meters, miner Rzhavchik discovered a marble casket of amazingly accurate mechanical manufacture. At the command area, Alexander Alexandrovich Maslyagina ordered all work to be stopped immediately. The casket was brought to the surface and workers began to open it by backing on the edges of the fossilized putty. Not so much from the blows, but from the effects of solar heat, the putty melted into a clear liquid and flowed. This was a shock to all who saw it. The coffin was filled to the brim with pink-blue crystal clear liquid. In it lay a slim, unusually beautiful woman, who looked about 30, with the fine European features and large, wide-open blue eyes. Her covering was dark brown with the reddish tint to the waist. She had curls, and, resting at her sides, soft white hands with short, neatly cropped nails. She was dressed in a white lace transparent dress length just below the knee. The short sleeves were embroidered with colorful flowers. Underwear was absent. It seemed that she was not dead, but sleeping. At her head was a black, rectangular metal box, rounded at one end, something like a cell phone, of approximately 25 to 10 centimeters in size. After about 10 to 15 hours, the coffin was opened for all to see. The whole village came to see this wonder. However, in less than 24 hours the mysterious finding was reported in the district center. The fire brigade, the military, and militia all confirmed the discovery. By 2 p.m. that day, a brick-red helicopter landed and the place was declared contagious and onlookers pushed away. Then the authorities sealed off the place and quarantined all who touched the coffin, even those who had been standing near. The story is told among the villagers. Few people believe them, however. Once you start looking deeper into the story you start noticing strange details. According to eyewitnesses, here is what happened. The coffin was transferred into the helicopter, but the burden was too heavy, so they decided to make it easier by removing the liquid. After pumping the fluid out of the coffin, the corpse began to blacken right in front of their eyes. So then the liquid was again poured in, and the blackness rapidly disappeared. Then, after a minute, the cheeks blushed again, and the mortal remains of the corpse returned their lifelike appearance. The coffin was closed and another helicopter was brought in to transport the remnants of the land putty in cellophane bags. 5 days later, an elderly professor from Novosibirsk came to report on the preliminary results of their laboratory findings. The professor said that this discovery would turn their very understanding of history upside down. When Soviet scientists would publish their findings, the scientific world would be plunged into shock. The age of the burial, according to the professor, was at least 800 million years old. The woman was older than the coal, having been buried as the coal formed around her coffin. Even by the evolutionary dating criteria, this refuted the Darwinian theory of evolution. So it boils down to these two alternatives. Either man, the final art piece of evolution, was on Earth earlier than the coal age, claimed variously to be 65 to 800 million years ago. Or coal was not formed as early as 65 to 800 million years ago, but much more recently, during the recent age of man. Either way, the evolution theory is in trouble. To save the evolution theory, some suggested that she must be an alien, but genetic analysis of the woman's body showed uniformity of the modern man. Today, we are the same as our ancestors 800 million years ago. No evolution. The nature of the fabric from which her dress was made is not amenable to scientific analysis. Also, the equipment to produce such material does not exist today. It has not been possible to identify the composition and paint blue liquid, but only some of its components, which include varieties of onions and garlic. On the metal box, the professor said nothing, except that it was being studied. The level of civilization in the time of this woman was probably far more advanced than ours.